The biggest thing for us is to get whole. For us to have our guys available and ready to compete and go into the regular season with good momentum. And even though you suffer a loss like this tonight, opening night we'll have AD, we'll have Lonnie, Brian. We got Brian through the preseason, injury free. Pat Bev. It's unfortunate Russ tweaked his hammy tonight, but we'll check back in on that in the morning. Dennis obviously has the issue with his thumb, but the biggest thing is for us to get back whole. And I really feel like we've made some really good strides in implementing our new system, with offensively and defensively. And once we get our main guys back out there together in rhythm, it things will be a little bit different for sure. And again, we're at the starting blocks of a marathon, so it's going to take some time.
It was only 5 minutes, I think, for us, but how did you think he handled? It seemed like there was maybe a little more zip when he came off the bench right away, a little more aggression from him. Did you see anything with that short of a period?
Yeah, it's a very small sample size, but he made some great reads, and again, by the time we were able to get into any real kind of groove of the game, he had to come out. So it is what it is. And again, like I said yesterday, man, injuries are a huge part of our business and in major sports in general. And you just got to try to navigate it the best way you can. And again, we'll keep throwing things against the wall and see what works and what doesn't work.
There was I think the first 4 games of the preseason pretty distinct. You talked about effort and being the team that played harder. And there was a thrust and an energy. You guys had a long preseason with games and stuff like that. Did you sense maybe a little slowdown as come out through these last?
Well,
games?
the one thing that we can never do is have moments of disappointment during the game. We have to have a next play mentality. You have those disappointment moments, whether it's one individual, 2 individuals, and you got the other 4 or 3 competing their behinds off. It can cost you 4 or 5 possessions easy. Definitely 2 or 3. You feel like you didn't get the call, or the ref wouldn't blow their whistle. Someone took a bad shot when you were open, and you're upset about that. And I'm speaking in general terms, and it's just the natural causes that happen within a game, the so-called game within the game. There's a disappointment spirit to the game, just like there's a competitive spirit to the game. And if you're not able to conquer that disappointment spirit, and again, have a next play mentality, then you're gonna have situations where, you have these lopsided losses, or a lopsided win that goes in your favor because you maintain your competitive spirit and your opposing team has a disappointment spirit. So trying to manage that and understanding, like, again, looking at it for what it is, no disrespect for anybody that was on the floor for us, but our main guys, for various reasons, they've been in and out of the lineup, and, players want to play well, and sometimes things don't go their way. It's human nature to drop your head, or, just kind of, not move as quickly back down the floor to the next play, but no one's going to feel sorry for you, especially when you're a Laker. No one's going to feel sorry for you. And we have to understand that and embrace that. Not just understand it, but embrace it and use it for fuel, and be ready to go out and compete, irregardless of what may be happening or what happened the last play or the last 2 plays. We got to have a next play mentality.
Darvin, to that point, does the spirit of this one bother you, or do you just compartmentalize it because you're not whole?
I mean, it's a little bit of both. It's something that I definitely acknowledged after the game. But again, it just into the preseason. And again, I told my guys, with the preseason, the wins and losses don't count, right? But instead of wins and losses, the W and L's for me are wisdom and lessons. And when you do things right, it's a lesson of what you need to continue to do. When you do things wrong, you gain the wisdom and lesson of knowing what you need to change. And so I saw some things with a couple of players all of our players, I feel like, are competitive at heart. But again, it's human nature. Things don't go your way, or the game is getting kind of out of hand, and you tend to just like, man, what the hell? But you got to block that out and keep competing possession after possession after possession. Now, again, keeping things in perspective, this is good lesson for us. It's good wisdom to have, because it's a preseason game, it doesn't count, but we can reference it. And so we'll definitely do that. We'll watch film, we'll take tomorrow off, get all our medical updates, and then come back ready to work on Sunday.
Coach Ham, if you could reference the Kings, you know, Mike coming in, being head coach after 6 years, you know, then Golden State, San Francisco, and your first time around. But what do you see out of what he's doing with this squad, at least in the last these 2 meetings that you had? Against...
I mean, Mike has given me 2 ass kickings. I didn't know he hated me so much. It's to be my guy, man. No, I'm just kidding. But Mike and I go back. Mike was with me my rookie year, man. He's a video coordinator for Bernie Bickerstaff my rookie year, 96, 97 with the Denver Nuggets. And just to see him and the way he's grown as a coach, started humble beginnings, with the way he's grown, with the type of people that I come from. You know, he was the first head coach to give me a job. My man Phil Handy in there, Chris Jennings worked for him as well. Mike is a great ambassador for the game, a great coach, and you know, in his own right, he's really exceptional. So I can only imagine him in practice, making sure they're detail oriented, making sure they're consistent. He's not a guy he's passionate, but he's not emotional, and it's a difference. You know, he doesn't wear his feelings on his sleeve. Players can bark and do whatever and not like what he's throwing at them, but at the end of the day, he's going to make sure he has all his resources in order, his numbers, his film, everything to re-emphasize why they should be doing exactly what he's asking them to do. So I expect this franchise to make a turn for the better, and Mike is he's relentless, man. He's not going to stop, you know, coming from where he's come from throughout his career, but especially here most recently coming from Golden State. I think Mike is going to do some wonderful things with this franchise.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Margin or anything like that. If we do those things, the score will sort itself out at the end of the day.
Jason,
Mike, congrats on another win. You know, this team hasn't been good at defense in a long time, and I know there's a lot of new faces here, and there's been a lot of turnover. But how have you, your staff, these players, kind of put the pieces together and implemented what looks like pretty sound defense?
You know, a lot of it is just it starts with the players. You know, it starts with their buy-in, their hunger to learn and get better, but more importantly, their competitiveness with each other every single day. I really don't want y'all in there the whole practice, but there's a part of me that wishes that you guys were in there the whole practice so you can see how hard they go against each other. It's no joke. I believe our practices are harder than our games because that's how hard we're trying to push each other. And you know, you got guys like Deladova that he doesn't know any other way but to go hard. And so what that means is if Davion ain't going hard, he will get embarrassed by Deli. If Foxy ain't going hard, he will get embarrassed by Deli. And so to have a guy like that on your team or with your group just raises the level of intensity all the time. And then he's like a coach on the bench, you know, or however you want to call it. He's constantly talking and all that other stuff. And so, you know, to have him and other guys that push guys in front of them, but they're still all in and they're encouraging their teammates and all that other stuff, but yet when their number's called, they're ready to go. To me, it's a perfect recipe for us to be better defensively.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys.